how to stay asleep for longer in the middle of the night when you feel physically tired, but you feel mentally wired. So in this video, we're specifically going to focus on this dynamic. There are many different versions of sleep problems that I've seen over the years, often driven by certain personality traits or some other things that might be going on in your life. So in this video, we're just going to focus on this particular dynamic. Nighttime disturbances when you feel physically tired, but you feel mentally wired in the middle of the night, and therefore obviously you might not be able to fall back into sleep easily again. And the word of warning here, just like I often mention in my videos, please make sure you don't self-diagnose. Sleep problems and sleep disorders might seem like they're similar, but they not necessarily require the same treatment. So it's important to really look at the extent of the problem, maybe even speak to someone who's practiced in the field and really explore what you're struggling with, especially if it's long term, before you jump into conclusions about what to do about it. These videos are here to help and support you, but without a structured plan, sometimes they actually might not work for you. So we will go into sort of more of this dynamic about what's going on when it's a physical tiredness but wiredness in the middle of the night. But before we do that, I wanted to say welcome to my video. If you haven't seen any of my content before, then I'll introduce myself. But if you're returning, then welcome back. Make sure you say hello. Let me know how this video has helped you once you watch through the entire content. And those of you who haven't seen any of my content before, then my name is Beatrix Schmidt. I'm a sleep coach, a professional speaker, and I am the creator of the Sleep Skills for Life program, which is very much about taking you from longer term sleep problems and insomnia through a practical plan so you can overcome those sleep challenges that you have. I worked with many clients over the years, and I really wanted to put together a program that is a step-by-step practical approach to really be able to help and support more people overcome their sleep problems. So if you're interested, come and check it out. The links are below. Now let's go back to today's topic. Nighttime disturbances can come from many different places, and I've talked about this before in previous videos. When I see clients who are physically really tired because it's been a long-term sleep problem and they're going to bed, falling asleep probably quite easily. So this is not talking about not being able to fall asleep. So you're falling asleep probably within 5-10 minutes or so, but you're waking up in the middle of the night and you're physically tired, but it feels like your mind is wired and you're not able to fall back into sleep, and you're probably tossing and turning in bed for, again, could be for hours. And when I struggled with my insomnia, that's something that I also struggled with. I just couldn't go back into sleep. And that was quite a number of years ago now, but I still remember the struggle of tossing and turning in bed in the middle of the night. So the first thing I wanted to talk about is a lot of the times when I speak to professionals who come and seek help from me, what comes out of those conversations is that they put an awful lot of pressure on themselves to make sure that they sleep really, really well and aim for perfection when it comes to sleep. The more pressure you put yourself about perfect sleep, often the less likely that it happens. Because if you ask a good sleeper who regularly sleeps really well, they don't even think about it. They just go to bed and enjoy that relaxation and sleep that they get. But when someone struggles with sleep problems, and you would have seen this as well in your life, you end up putting so much pressure on making sure that you sleep well that it almost becomes sometimes even the reason why you're not rested and relaxed enough to be able to sleep through the entire night. So sleep pressure and putting that pressure on yourself is one of the things that I've seen in this dynamic, which means that you're going to bed, falling asleep, but when you wake up in the middle of the night, your brain starts going and your mind starts racing, especially if you can't fall back into sleep easily, and you start getting frustrated about it. You perhaps even start getting really upset about the fact that yet again, you're awake in the middle of the night, and you might have even, what sometimes clients say to me, ruined your sleep at night. Waking up in the middle of the night does not have to equal you ruined your sleep for the entire night. Of course, right now you might be struggling, but through gaining the practical skills, you can actually learn to sleep through the night. And I've seen this with clients. So stop putting so much pressure on yourself and aim for perfection. Even I don't think that my sleep is perfect. It changes every single night. And I've seen that even with myself. Sometimes we go through a little bit more stressful periods in our life, and that will shift our sleep a little bit. But celebrate the things that are going well. So if you are falling asleep and you're able to switch off, that's good. So you've got some parts of your sleep that are working quite well. The other thing I've seen in this scenario when it comes to really this wiredness is that it often links back to this thinker type personality trait. And again, there are 16 different personality traits, and I'm not going to be able to look at every single one in this scenario. But what I've seen is when somebody is naturally a thinker type, quite an intellectual, maybe even problem solver type, that tends to mean that during your day, you're always going from one task to the other, which is this kind of next mentality. So you finish one thing, what's next? You finish another thing, what's next? So you cram quite a bit of things into your daytime, which means you're not even having a break in between. And again, I've seen this quite often with clients. So if that happens during the day, you are going to be tired at night, in the evening, but it doesn't mean that your mind understands the difference between the daytime activities and that nighttime is for rest and relaxation. So that daytime next mindset carries on through the night, which means in between sleep stages, and there's 5 different sleep stages, you are naturally become a little bit more awake, but that's when the mind kicks in and actually wants to look for something to do. This is one of the most common reasons that I find people struggle with this wiredness at night is the mind isn't actually able to do anything with silence because it's not used to it. So it's wanting to do something. So it's stimulating, it's triggering you to wake up and find something to do. And normally that can happen after a little bit of sleep. So whether or not that's maybe a 90-minute or a 3-hour sleep time, that's when that wiredness can show up in the middle of the night. So what do you do about it? Now, first of all, wiredness needs to be addressed during the day first. You can't expect your mind to be able to turn off and relax and surrender to sleep if it doesn't know what it even means to enjoy a bit of peace and quiet and sitting still, as one example. So most of the clients who struggle with wiredness at night, actually they're quite an active type person during the day. So your body and your mind doesn't know what it's supposed to do with that sense of quietness in the middle of the night. So one of the things I would suggest is, first of all, make time during the day to let the mind process. So you're creating that space that actually your mind is using in the middle of the night, which is the peace and quiet and no agenda and nothing to do, to process. You want to bring that time into your daytime, so by the time you actually get into bed, your mind isn't going into processing mode. And our life has fast forwarded, so we do a lot more during the day than we used to, even a couple of decades ago. So our mind has really become very, very busy. So make time during the day. I normally say 20 minutes, maybe a couple of times a day, or 15 minutes, a couple of more times a day, to really just sit quietly in one place and let your mind process. It's not about controlling your thoughts. It's not about pushing them away, or it's not about even perhaps a mindfulness type thing. It's literally just letting it process whatever's going on for you in your mind. That's one thing. Another thing that works really well is when the people who are thinker types are actually taking all the things that are going on in your head, and you put them down on paper. Now, this isn't about writing things down and letting it get out of hand. So I'm not talking about you writing and starting to actually create frustration, because now you're going back into something that bothers you. This is just actually writing it out and not attaching more emotion to it. And this is important. If you reattach the emotion that you might have felt perhaps earlier during the day when you were frustrated, you're reliving it. But this isn't about that. This is about just putting it down on paper and then letting it go. These two exercises are one of the best ones that works with a lot of this wiredness type issues that I see. Of course, this is just two things. When I work with clients, we really get to the bottom root cause of the problem, and we work with that to make sure that whatever tool and technique you put in place is effective. There are versions of these exercises depending on what the root cause is, but generally speaking, these two exercises are the best ones that I've seen over the years that work for people. You practice during the daytime, which means at night, your body and your mind is actually able to recreate that quiet and peaceful physical, emotional, and mental state as well, together, or three of them. So I hope this video has helped. I know it's a short video. Just this problem can take weeks for someone to overcome. So, this is a process. This is really a practical plan that you have to create. The two things I mentioned are just the start. Don't just try, meaning give it a go once and then discard it because it didn't work. You've got to practice it enough for it to become effective. And of course, if you've got any questions on this particular topic, feel free to either come over and visit my website and submit them, or reach out separately to me. I'm very happy to guide you into a more specific answer as well. And of course, this is exactly what we do in the programs that I run. Either one-to-one or the group program is really we get to work and make sure that you put the right things in place that are specific to whatever you're going through. So thank you for watching this video, and come back later on this week when I will answer a question on this particular element of sleep problems later on Thursday. So thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button below. If you haven't yet subscribed, hit that little subscribe button and that little bell as well, so I can let you know when I post new videos in the coming weeks. So thank you so much for watching.